already agreed on bliss.
Right. And the breath holds it all
Bliss was
together.
a word that we used to always use when I first got into practicing Raji's self-knowledge. I'm so blissed out, man.
Oh,
We used to always say that. I'm so blissed out, man. I'm so blissed out. So I don't use the word bliss
Right,
so
you
much
don't
anymore.
It's fun.
But yes, it is bliss. Bliss is a wonderful word because it just bubbles up. It's just light. It's the feeling of light. If light had the quality of a feeling, it's bliss. You just feel like hopping up and down and waving your arms over your head, and it's bliss. You feel light. There's no thing weighing you down. You are bliss. You're free. That's also really air ether quality that if we're going to talk about movements that are embodying air and ether, you could look at, there's a variety of different ways of looking at that, but it's definitely light. It's on the light, spacious side. And we tend to be more focused on the movements above the waist and moving the eyes and the arms above the waist, upward. You're going up now, you're rising, you're effervescent. And when you do a type of movement, it brings a feeling quality. It's like you could be walking along, you're not going to have a feeling quality. The same as if you start skipping. If you start skipping and waving your arms over your head and looking up while you're skipping, you're going to change your whole emotional tone.
Yes.
So that's a really good example of the power of movement and the way you can use movement to heal yourself. Even if you can be, really angry and just put on some like you were saying, the
Slam dancing, the punk rock
whatever that
stuff,
is.
yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure because I don't know what it is, but something that's like, and just like, acknowledge it.
Yeah, that's
But not to honor it, or not to the extent of like building it or holding it or like saying that it's good or that you want it, but no, to release it. Because you have to release these emotions. They're toxic. So somebody does something that really screws you over, right? And it happens. Because people do what they want to do for them. And so the result of that might be that you got stepped on. It happens. And it's going to be, even if you're the most realized saint, you're going to be like, what the? Come on. It's like smelling a bad smell. You have a reaction to a bad smell. You have a reaction if you eat rotten food. You have a reaction, if you fall into mud. You have a reaction. But what's bad is if you just swallow it. Either because you think you deserve on some level to be treated that way, or because you don't think it's spiritual to acknowledge that you feel that way, let alone to express that you feel that way. Feel that way. And process it through like you're having a bowel movement.
That was good.
Well, I think, that's it. It's like just owning it. If they should have feeling, just own it and then let it go. Instead of sitting around going, yeah.
Because then it just churns, and now it's flavoring your whole inner environment.
Right.
And then it gets pushed down to the below conscious level. And our subconscious becomes like a toxic waste dump, full of unresolved, unacknowledged emotions. then that's flavoring our whole vibrational tone. And that's, if you want to use the analogy like Carolyn used, which I thought was really good, it's like that's draining your energy bank account. Now you're pulling on cellular tissue energy. Now you're pulling on your immunity. So now you're vulnerable to all those different buggy boos that are floating around in our environment. Now they can get a hold of you, because you've already let this other toxic mess get a hold of you. But you know, it's not easy to always be processed, because sometimes it's stuff, it's just a lot of stuff coming down the pike all at once, you know. 3 best friends die in the same day, and you wreck your car, and you get a letter from the IRS, and whatever.
You lose your lease.
Well, yeah, whatever. Just all of it can happen in really short periods of time. It's like, oh, you don't have time to process it. You gotta keep going, you gotta keep going, you gotta keep going. But you do have to make time to process it. You do have to make time to process it. And you can use help to process it. You can go to healers. You can go on little weekend retreats. You can take a day, your Sunday, and fast and pray and listen inside and put some music on and dance, and whatever it takes. You have to address, you have to pay attention to coming back to that cleanliness, that purity, that zero, that emptiness, that childlike hope. I let it all go. I'm back to zero, clean slate, moving forward from here. Because none of that really has anything to do with me. It happened to me, but it has nothing to do with me. Just because it happened to me doesn't mean I have to carry it around with me for the rest of my life. You know? We're dragging this huge bag. And it's bigger. There's an old Indian story about a young man setting off. Have I already told you this story? Young man setting off from his village to go to the city to make his life. He's grown up now. And as he's going across the mountain on the mountain trail, he sees an old man approaching him. And the old man is coming from the city, returning to the village, because he's now at the end of his life. And the old man is carrying a huge pack on his back. And he's all hunched over, and he has a cane. He has a stick that's helping him, and he's walking, he's very labored in his walking. And they meet at a point on the path. And the young man, stay, rest a while. I'd like to talk to you, I'd like to gain some experience. I'm about to embark upon the beginning of my adult life, and if you have any wisdom to share with me, wise old man, please share it with me. And the old man just took the pack off his back and put it down, and stood up straight. And he said, don't carry a great back. Don't carry a heavy back. Of course, I'm sure that the young man totally ignored you.
Well, yes, you do have to make your own mistakes, it seems like.
Yeah. Actually, I get the Touched by a Horse cards. I belong to their website, and they send me a quote every day. And today's quote was that. It was the younger horses were gathered together with an older group of horses, and the older group of horses were sharing their wisdom with the younger horses, and the younger horses were saying, how did you get to be so wise? How did you get to have so much wisdom? And the older horses said, we learned by every mistake that we made. So all of their mistakes were learnings. That's all a mistake is a learning. It's not a bad thing. And how do we learn other than by trial and error? It's like when you're doing your yoga practice, you find out, I move too quickly from this pose to that pose, I lose my balance. I don't pay attention to this or that. When I'm doing this or that, I lose my balance. I wobble, or that wasn't done efficiently. By moving, we find out how to do everything more efficiently, more smoothly, more consciously, more beautifully, more enjoyably. Most important, more enjoyably. Enjoy with it, enjoyably. Okay, so,